back. Welcome to Donuts and
Coffee
with Danielle and
Sanaya.
Yes. We are back, guys. It's 2019, February 2nd to be exact, and we are finally back recording another podcast for you. First, I want to give a shout out to Zaria.
Yes, because she just turned 1 today.
Yes, hi boo, happy birthday. So now we are back. We're kind of, into the new year. It's, a lot of people have resolutions and goals and doing all these things to kind of like revamp for the new year, putting bad things to the aside, yeah, and kind of revamping, trying to be a better person for the new year. We actually have some different goals and plans for ourselves for the podcast, and yeah, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about that. Sanaya, I guess you can go first. What's your goals for this year?
My goals are to read more often without being told, and getting into the habit of taking charge in my responsibilities.
Ooh, I like that. That does my heart well. For real, it really does. To know that you're actually taking to heart a lot of the things that your dad and I say to kind of, and it's not to badger you or make you feel bad, but it's a way to make you become a better person, a better woman, a better student, like all those different things to make you a responsible person, which are good skills to have until you get older. I need to stop smacking for one.
So, what are your goals for this year?
Well, let's see. Some of my goals are, I do want to get in shape. For real. I just need to kind of be more consistent with that.
It's gonna be hard since Zaria got a lot of cake.
I know. Whew. Shout out to Nicole Johnson from Cake by the People who made Zaria's amazing birthday cake. She's here locally in Kansas City, and she's our cake lady, and we love her. Love you, Nicole. So yeah, it's hard. you know, Mama loves her sweets. But that's something that's discipline. That's truly one thing that I want to kind of tackle a little bit more. Also and not just the podcast, but on the photography side of things and other goals that I have for myself. On the creative side, I want to create more and create consistently. So that's kind of my just a few of my goals. I want to be a healthy person in my body, my mind, my spirit. I want to be healthy overall. And with that, I believe I will be able to create more and be consistent with the content that's being given to the people. So, yeah, that's my goal. Sanaya and I have sat down and chatted a little bit about some of our goals for the podcast specifically. We want to, for one, create more.
Yeah.
we want to have people on, have some kids.
Yeah, like my best friend Maya.
Have her on the podcast and talk about her story, which is pretty unique.
And sad.
Yeah, it is sad. Yet she is in a step-parent household now because her
grandparents are, what's the word?
Taking care of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mom passed away.
And she doesn't know her dad.
Yeah, so we got permission from her grandparents to talk to her, so you will soon hear from Maya about her story and how she's, dealing with not having your direct parent in your life, and kind of encourage her as well, because, we are very passionate about building solid relationships with your parents, whether they're step parent, grandparent, step-grandparent.
You say you're going to stop saying,
I know.
But you can't, I'd rather you say that and fill in all those gaps where you don't talk than you just have plain quiet.
I'm going to do better. But it's just got to get in the habit of talking to this thing, you know, having conversation with this. Because, you know, all right. Anywho, we do want to have guests on the show. I am currently in the plans of putting together a group podcast where I'm bringing on stepmoms and then biological moms of children who have step parents. That makes sense?
No, it doesn't. Not at all. Not one bit. Okay, that's fine.
So yeah, that's what's on the horizon for Donuts and Coffee. We have some things planned, and we are excited to bring more content to you, conversations, and just different things that's going on with us.
The first topic will be the superintendent in Lee Summit.
A lot of people locally are kind of up in arms about a specific superintendent in the Lee Summit School District. Someone has found a photograph of him and some friends at a sporting event, and someone took a picture of them, and he was sticking up his middle finger. Some people are upset about it, and some people just like, you know, who cares? You know, he wasn't at work doing it. He wasn't representing the school or anything like that. So,
but at the same time, he's supposed to be responsible, and that's not a responsible thing to do.
All right, let's see. We have a new guest. Miss Zaria joined us. So you'll hear her. Really? Now you want to talk? So, the school district, I don't think they, like, disciplined him or anything like that. Okay, so there's a picture. We're looking at the local news website, KCTV5, and they have the picture of him and some buddies. I guess you can tell that it's like a football game or something. And then they snapped a picture with him holding up the middle finger. And yeah, the middle finger it's supposed to mean a specific thing, and it's not necessarily a good thing. I get that. But at the same time, when does it stop? Like, how much are you to be held accountable as an adult when you're not on the school grounds, when you're not, like, at work?
But any little kid could have just been walking on the sidewalk or anywhere.
What they got to do with the picture?
They could have saw him. And kids might not know what that means. They might do it too. And that's why I said it's a bad thing.
So, what if you did something and you were just having fun, and then someone can come back and be like, oh, Sanaya did that. She should get fired from her job. What do you think?
Just play the video. Play the video.
Let's see.
Photo that sparked outrage among some parents in Lee Summit. This is the Lee Summit School superintendent at a party with college friends. The photo was taken at a football game 100 or more miles away in Atlanta in November, but it was shared just recently. The school board did its own investigation, and what they determined may or may not surprise you. Here's our Rudy Harper. I'm disgusted.
Hey, you got caught at a bad time. The photo in question, what do you do? Quickly drew attention on social media after Mike Smith shared it.
It's between him and the board.
It shows Lee Summit Superintendent Dr. Dennis Carpenter show off an offensive gesture while at a tailgate with friends. Some say his behavior is foolish.
They see
a superintendent giving the finger to someone, then why would that not be okay for the kids to do that? They emulate what they see.
While others think his private life is off limits.
I spent years in the military to where you're judged off duty, and, everybody needs to cut loose.
The school board looked into the picture to find out if it violated the vision, mission, or goals of the district. The school board president excused Dr. Carpenter. In a statement, Phyllis Bologna said, "We are sensitive to the fact that we are all human beings, that no one is perfect, and we must learn to have productive dialogue together." She also said the board agreed to support Dr. Carpenter and work with him through this time. This comes on the heels of a leaked letter from the teachers union to not extend Carpenter's contract. Carpenter is in negotiations with the district. Rudy Harper, KCTV 5 News.
And we asked for an interview with the superintendent tonight and the school board president, but they were unavailable.
So one of my questions are, why does this affect me so much? Because I feel like he's a bad man, but at the same time, like you said, he was just he's just having fun, and he was at a party. And another question is, how did someone even get that photo?
Social media. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all those pictures that a lot of people post are readily and available for people to, use or take or see. Whether it's like one of your friends and you were out and about or something and y'all were just hanging out, somebody snap a picture and then they tag you in it, that picture can go or be seen by anybody. So I think that's the case with this one, was that one of the guys in the picture had posted the picture and tagged the superintendent, Dr. Carpenter. And one of the other, the other guy saw it and was like, this doesn't look good for the school district. But, personally, he's a grown man. He's a whole adult. So if and I understand that he works for a school and he has the influence of a lot of children, but in that particular case, if it wasn't for that particular man to say hey, I saw this doesn't look good, nobody else probably would have seen it, especially the kids. Because what's your superintendent name?
I have no clue.
Exactly. A lot of people would not have known about this if someone, just me in particular, I feel like they were snooping.
That's why I asked where they get the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was just I believe it was on Facebook. So, but that's a whole nother topic, because you don't have social media. And whatever social media or images that are put out there by of you are by me or Daddy, because sometimes, but Daddy really don't post that many pictures.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of social media, we do have an Instagram called My Donuts and Coffee. So go ahead and follow us. Say hey. We have a few pictures that are up. So just converse. If you have any questions, send us a DM and we can kind of bring it to the podcast and kind of answer your questions. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anywho, that was one of the things that was brought up about in the most recent news. So I guess for me, if I saw that for your superintendent, I really wouldn't care, because I've thrown up the middle finger probably multiple times this week, but it just wasn't caught on camera. So that's kind of, because a lot of people do things that aren't necessarily on camera. But at the same time, you do have to realize what you represent, the positions that you are in, and how that can be perceived in different ways. So, what's your final thoughts on?
I think that if he was my school and it was done while he was working, right when he was working, I would be really mad because I don't want someone. I know he's a grown man and he's allowed to pick his choices, but I know sometimes people don't make wise choices, but that's really not a wise choice.
Okay. I respect your opinion. I don't think it was necessarily wise either, because especially with it being posted on social media, anybody can have access to it. But, hopefully he'll make better choices in the future.
Yeah, because kids at 9 are getting phones now.
Yep, that's so right and true. I guess with that, we can move on to our next segment. Or our next story. Is trying to figure out what's going on. How's school going?
It's going good. I want to talk to to people about how much I've grown. Because at the beginning of the year, I was very chatty and I really didn't pay attention a lot. And now I'm having parent-teacher conference again. And my teacher wants to talk to my parents about how much I've grown from the first quarter of our school year. Since Monday is the 100th day of school.
Are y'all doing anything special for that?
I think so, yeah. I think everybody is.
Okay. Let me know so we can kind of plan that out.
Okay. But, anyway, my teacher has complimented me a lot. Oh, shout out to you, Miss Coleman. She really brings the best side out of me, especially when I'm sad. She helps me understand what's on my paper sometimes, and it's not so bad. Because she helps me, and I feel comfortable around her when she helps me. Okay. She makes me feel like I belong.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm about to send her a little love, because you always want your kids to have teachers that support them, even when they have I guess like dips in their progress. We had a little dip in Sanea's progress, but as she says, she definitely has grown a lot. And why do you think? Why do you think you've grown? Outside of her telling you that, but what was it that made the change for you?
Because I don't sit next to chatty kids in the back anymore. I try to get what my teacher tells me to do done. And then go to the very front of the room just so I can learn more. Yeah. And because the learning students are most likely in front, the talkative students are on back for a reason, because they don't want the teacher to know it's them, but every single time
they get caught.
Yep.
But I think that's a good life lesson, though, because in order for things to be different, you have to make a change.
And it was hard for me to sit away from my friend, especially because we don't hang out as much anymore. But I took the chance and I made a difference.
That's good. I mean, I'm extremely proud of you. I see a lot of change in you. I know you're only 9, so I don't have I feel like I don't have crazy expectations of you to be this
awesome.
I mean, you are awesome.
No, like
but I don't expect perfection. Like, you've only been in this world 9 years. 5 of those years you're more aware about life. So, and it's still people that are like 40 years old that they don't get what you're doing. So, well, let me say, it's like people 40 years old that are still making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again. And so I feel like I have a little bit more patience than Daddy, but I have a decent understanding and decent level of patience to allow you to grow.
Daddy doesn't
and make mistakes.
And Daddy doesn't want me to make mistakes because he wants me to be the best young woman I can be.
Absolutely.
So I can prepare my children when I have children. I can prepare them for the world like you did to me.
And we want you to be a leader too.
Not a follower.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's cool. I'm glad to know, because it does my heart well to know that you are doing better in school and that the reports are better. Because Nay's been killing it kindergarten, killing it first grade, killing it second grade.
I've been killing it in math for sure.
Yeah, she's definitely been killing it in math. But it really does my heart well to know that you are starting to understand. And it's not so much, like, I'm okay with you making those mistakes, us having to talk to you about it, and you making those changes and understanding why you need to make those changes. That's more important to me than you being perfect, no mistakes, all that. I mean, of course, as every parent was like, oh, my kid's an A student, they're getting 4.0s and honor roll and all this stuff. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. But I want you to have solid understanding about life concepts. And
if I'm always perfect, there's no room for mistakes. And you need to make mistakes to know how to do things right. And if you never make mistakes, then what's the point of life?
Yeah. And because I don't want you to, well, I'm saying what's the point of life, but you're on the right track. I don't know, probably because I'm just a parent and I feel that way. It is the kind of things that we instill in her, to just understand how the real world works. I don't know if you have another idea or another thought process of how you teach your kids and things like that. Let us know. Email us at heydonutandcoffee@gmail.com. I'm excited. I mean, it like I said, it really does my heart well to know that you're understanding and you're making those changes. So I am looking forward to parent-teacher conference. All right. So one of the other things we wanted to talk about was different concepts of what it means to be in a successful family. And the successful is just being, success can be described in different ways. Let me say more so our successes as mother and daughter, and that step parent, our successes in that way.
But you can have successes with anybody.
That's true, because these can be applied in any way. And again, as we made a disclaimer before, I am not a professional in any way. We are just basically going off of our experiences, and we feel like it's a success. So we want to share our relationship, our successes, our failures too, with the world, so that we can kind of break that stigma of the evil step parent and the evil stepchildren.
Like in our very first episode, we talked about Cinderella.
Yeah, pretty much all, like you said, pretty much all the princess Disney type movies always had a
evil step parent, except for Ariel.
Ariel, her favorite.
Yep.
Yes. Ariel is her favorite. One of the things that one of the ways that I wanted to build a solid relationship with Sanaya was to spend time with her. Like, across the board, you can't have a relationship with anybody without spending time with them. Having that one-on-one time, that place where you can just connect and share ideas and have fun together or cry together or even have arguments. That's one thing I always tell Sanaya. Like, even if her dad and I argue, it's not that we don't love each other. It's that we disagree, and then
it's a cycle of life.
Yeah, it's part of life. You're going to argue with your friends. You're going to argue with your parents. But it's how you deal with it afterwards is important. And one thing I try, especially if you have an argument and your children hear it, they don't know how to process it. And they would,
like I did sometimes, they would assume that it's the argument is their fault.
Oh, you mean your fault?
Yeah, your fault, their fault. What's the difference?
Well, no, because the way you, now I want you to speak, like, from your perspective. You used to think that it was your fault.
Yeah, I used to think it was my fault, so I took it out on me and felt shame and I thought it was all my fault.
I think it's important when you have those arguments or disagreements with your spouse and it's in front of a child or in the earshot of a child, they hear a lot of things that you think they sleep. I think it's important that when you have those arguments with your spouse or disagreements, that you have those conversations afterwards with the kids. Like, I feel like it's important that when you have those arguments with your spouse, that you kind of debrief with your children, because although you two may debrief together, they don't often see that. And they need to learn how to handle conflict. Like I said, whether it's their future spouse or their kids or their friends, even at school. I always tell her, Sanaya is a emotional person.
I am.
And sometimes she would have those, like, friend conflicts coming from school, like, oh, she wasn't my friend, or we argued about this. I'm like, you know what, that's going to happen. Like, but y'all need to talk about it. Y'all need to come to a agreement about, something, because you're going to end up holding that on the inside, and they're too young for all that. And it's a healthy way to grow up, to know that my child is able to resolve conflict. And it doesn't have to be fighting, like physical fighting, or them becoming depressed or emotionally withdrawn because they don't know how to express themselves. So even when we discipline you, we always
tell me why.
Mm-hmm. And it's usually, with your daddy, it'll be like a 2-hour conversation. But like, literally, how do you feel about, like, afterwards, honestly, with those conversations?
I feel bad for what I did, and I try not to make that mistake again.
Yeah. But what about the conversations? How do you feel about the conversations afterwards?
The after conversations aren't that bad as the beginning conversations. Mm-hmm. So I really don't feel any different when it becomes the second conversation. I just feel the same. I feel bad for what I did. Try not to make the mistake.
Because I was just telling Nay in the car, we went to go, grab some food or whatever. And I told her, like, her dad and I, we want to do everything. Like, if money truly was, like, no object, Nay would be ridiculously spoiled. Like, and we love doing stuff for her. We love taking her places. We love surprising her with stuff. But
you can't reward bad behavior.
Absolutely. I tell her that all the time. You can't reward bad behavior.
Like when we were going to go to the open gymnastics.
Yeah. That was like, dang. I really wanted to go. I mean, wanted to take you, but yeah, wanted to go. But I guess that kind of leads into what the successful family concept that we want to talk about is activities, doing stuff together, that quality time. One of the things I found on this website called handinhandparenting.org, they had a article. Okay, so one of the articles we were looking at is from handinhandparenting.org, and the article was called Making a Good, or you want to read the article title?
Making a Good Mix, 7 Tips for
Step Parenting and blended
families.
Okay, so that's one of their articles, and one of the things that stood out to us, one of the things that popped up to us was their number 5, which was find activities that unite, not alienate stepchildren and step parents. With that said, the example that they used was a stepdad can feel like the odd parent out if mom and her daughter have a ritual of rollerblading every weekend and the stepdad isn't so good on wheels. Find activities that step parents and stepchildren can do together to bridge the gap. One stepdad I know plays tennis with his stepson every Saturday afternoon while the mom takes their daughters to swim lessons. All right, so what do you think about that?
I think that's a good way to handle things so no one feels like the odd parent. Because I love you.
I love you too.
And I love Daddy. And of course I'm going to love Daddy. And I'm going to try to spend time with him. Because I have 2 moms. I have a long time until I don't see either of you. But I only have one daddy. And one daddy, I need to bond with this one daddy in my one life I have.
That's true. So what were some of the things that you and... Well, let me say, I don't feel like I took away time from you and Daddy.
Because we really didn't ever do anything until you came into the family.
Because, you know, I'm all about...
making memories.
Absolutely. I say it all the time.
Yeah, that's how I know.
I say it all the time. All about making memories. Yeah, so that was a huge thing for me. And I feel like regardless of the hurt that may have been caused, that may have been caused with the separation of parents, regardless if they were married or not, the base foundation of any relationship is quality time together. Because nothing can be built outside. I don't feel like anything can be built outside of that.
And you bond from quality time. And bonding helps you. I don't know if I said this or not already, but bonding helps you get to know your child or your parent. It helps you know who they are and what they like. And instead of doing what you always want to do. That may be fun, what you want to do always, but that's not right. You need to let your parent or child pick what they want to do.
I agree. I think, I believe that is a smart thing. Not only because I think it, but I know, I just really believe it to be true. Like, if you want to have anything
in common with your parents, you need to know what they like.
Yeah. Because it may not be what you like.
May not be the funnest thing to do.
Yeah. Or just even stepping out to try and, do something different. Like,
you don't want to be a fix, which is something that our counselor was talking to us about. Okay. I forgot the other one, but the fix is you always stay the same. You never learn anything new, never do anything new. Just always stay the same. Same schedule, same time, same day, same everything. Yeah. Over and over again.
Yeah. And because then, again, you don't grow. Because if you don't take the chance to experience something new, you can very well like it. Or on the other end, like, if you try it and you don't like it, I'm like, well, at least I tried it.
Yeah. Like that one time that I was driving the car. Remember when I...
Oh, at Worlds of Fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost ran the whole thing down.
Well, they wouldn't have let you. Because it's like, it was on a track. But you did good, though. I was a little nervous, but you did good.
Was there doors? I forgot. Was there doors?
Yeah, there were doors.
Okay, good, because I didn't want to knock you out.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
So, our next topic is a really long word. You say it.
Affirmations.
What she said.
We were sitting... Well, okay, two things. We were sitting in the car, and I was like, oh, that would be a dope addition to... I just felt like it would be a dope addition to the podcast to add affirmations, add a new word to kind of support and build each other. And it's kind of like a challenge to you guys too. So every podcast we're going to introduce a new word. I would know it, but Sanae may not know it.
And I may ask a lot of questions because I'm like Dory. I have short-time memory loss.
Yeah, what?
I have short-time memory loss.
Short-term.
What she said.
Short-term memory loss.
See? I'm like Dory.
Oh, anywho. So we want to have affirmations, and then I will say one to her, and she will say one to me. And then I want you all at home or wherever you are to use that word in a sentence to your stepchild or step-parent or whoever, whatever loved one that's in your life. We want you to kind of take that and then use it for the week.
Okay. So
first,
excuse me.
Yes, ma'am. What's up?
You know how I said I'm like Dory?
You what? Mm-hmm.
I'm like Dory. So, I forgot everything you told me what that meant in the car.
All right, okay, so the best thing to do is go and get the exact definition. So, of course, you get a good Google search, so you get the exact one. And affirmation is the action or process of affirming something or being affirmed. Or the other definition is emotional support or encouragement. I was telling Nate about root words and because they kept
school.
Yeah. So the root word of affirmation is affirm. So she wanted to know what that meant. So that is, or you can read it.
Affirm.
Affirm.
Affirm. State as a fact.
Assert.
Assert strongly and publicly.
Mm-hmm. And then the second definition.
Offer someone emotional support or
what?
Or where was I?
Right here.
Encouragement.
Offer someone emotional support or encouragement. So, my affirmation to you is that with all this amazing growth that you're doing, for one, I'm super proud of you. And I pray that you continue on this path because it's only going to get better from here. As long as you do what you're supposed to do, take care of your responsibilities. From us, we're going to support you and continue to have fun and do all that stuff. So I just pray that you just keep it in your mind and your heart that doing the right thing is always best. And I trust that you will do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So mine is for you. I encourage you to follow your dreams and make sure that no matter what happens, look at me.
I'm looking at you.
No matter what happens, under any circumstances, I think I said it right. Mm-hmm. No matter what, never let anybody tell you that you're a bad person. Because you're a great person. You took someone who you barely knew when we just met, and you already bonded.
Well, nobody trying to cry. Oh gosh, girl. Okay.
I have myself crying too, so you can't say anything.
Oh, great. All right. I guess we're going to end on that note. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. Thank you for riding with us. If you haven't listened to the first 2 podcasts, please, please, please do tell us what you think. We really, really, really want some feedback.
So, no one.
I wouldn't say that because I talk to adults and they've been saying a lot of good things about it. But I want to send us an email with questions that you have for us. Talk about your scenario. Tell us a situation of something that has happened in your family or happening, and we can kind of give you our perspective on what to do.
Or advice.
Yeah, or have your kids email us. Tell them something.
If kids have permission.
Yeah. And you know what, too? I want to give some shout-outs to some of our listeners. So, if you are a listener, let us know, and we can shout you out. And, so just say thank you. So, again, email us at heydonutsandcoffee@gmail.com, and on Instagram, we're mydonutsandcoffee. Everything's spelled out. So, yeah, come back. We appreciate you. We love you. And just thank you for supporting us. And until next time.
Hello. This is
Donuts
and Coffee.
All right. I love you, girl.
I love you too.